Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor and it's time for another live stream. This one coming to you on wherever you are in the world. Maybe it's probably very early on Saturday or later afternoon on Saturday, but we're coming to you on the weekend right now to report the crypto price action, because you know I've been biased bullish, okay? I'm expecting more upside here. There's a lot of fear, especially over the past few days with this pullback, right? But we're going to be going over what I'm looking for right now to close out the month of July and into August. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so looking at where we're currently standing, Bitcoin is trading for 117K. Ethereum is trading for 37.50. Solana is back above 180. Current price is 188. XRP up as well, $3.18. Dogecoin. We're going to go over all of these charts because I want to show you what played out. And the thing is, we'll get into the charts and I'll talk about what I want to talk about. Very quickly, I want to look at the Crypto Bubbles Top 100. And the Crypto Bubbles Top 100 today is green. Okay, everything is green right now. So let's get into these charts and talk about the current situation that we are seeing. Let's talk about the current situation that we are seeing right now. So anyways, we're going to go through these majors. Bitcoin dominance has went ahead and hit 62.49%, and it's now coming back down to close out the week. If we look at the weekly candle right now, right, earlier in the week it would have been pretty dangerous seeing a full green bar, but now we have a long wick to the upside. So ideally, what I'm looking for, straight up, listen clear, listen up. What I am looking for is for continuation into the middle of August for bullish price action on altcoins. In order for that to happen, Bitcoin dominance must continue to drop like it did the week prior, right? A 5.8% drop. So in order for us to see continuation into August, we're going to need this to continue to drop over the next few weeks, obviously. All right, so maybe we close this week with a doji, but next week we got to see this continue down lower if we are going to stay bullish. But I am looking for it to come into the 2-month demand zone next at 59%. And then maybe it comes down into the 2-week demand level at 57%. But we're looking for Bitcoin dominance to continue down lower. USDT dominance, all right, we were looking at this on stream yesterday. And quick look at what has occurred. So we had our 9-day level. Let's go to the 4-hour price chart. So we had our 9-day level that price reacted from, as we can see, but it was unable to clear this previous swing low. The previous swing low from all the way back here in February, right? And I've had this labeled since February. I've had it labeled bullish with higher time frame close below. Now, don't get confused in this context, because this is an inverse price chart. When this goes down, the market is bullish. So what I mean by bullish, I mean for altcoins, for coins in the market, bullish, right? With a close below this, which we got, we're looking for continuation down lower, all right? Anyways, if you look at what happened here on the daily, we wicked into my red area at 4.41%, and we rejected back down. All right, we talked about that on stream yesterday, and we're looking for this to come to 4% now. 4% should line up with Ethereum at 4,000 and altcoins pumped up a lot more from where they are now. If we do see this start to accept above this level at like 4.41, well, then the rally is off the table. But right now the rally is on the table because we're below this level, and this still looks like it wants to go for 4%. So we're looking for pumps, guys. All right, let's go into Bitcoin. And on Bitcoin right now, daily time frame. You remember yesterday we were on the 5-minute chart, and the price was just coming into this daily fair value gap at $115,000. Well, it did come in a few more times after we were live on stream watching it. But the idea was, go watch my stream from yesterday if you weren't there. But the idea was to see this provide a bullish reaction, and we got a very bullish reaction from the daily fair value gap. All right, this also fully filled the Chicago Mercantile Exchange CME gap. All right, this happened when the market was closed, so you won't see it on the CME chart, but it goes down to 114,435. If you look at Bitcoin, the lows, You're looking at 114, 700 or so. So it basically fully filled the CME gap. It came in the daily fair value gap. And now it is also, right? Remember yesterday we were looking for the reclaim of Monday's low price. We reclaimed Monday's low. Right? We reclaimed Monday's low. And yeah, I mean, so this ideally was the low yesterday. This was the low before this goes and pumps up again. And that goes for coins too. We're going to show altcoins in a second. But ideally, this was the low yesterday. One interesting I want to show you is the liquidation heat map on Bitcoin. And let's go look at it. I mean, let's go to a higher time frame, like the weekly time frame. Okay, let's go to the weekly. So this is the liquidation heat map on Bitcoin. And let me make sure my head isn't blocking it. It's not. We can still see. So what this tells us, it shows us where the liquidity is on Bitcoin, to the upside and to the downside. So I want to point out something very obvious if you just take a look at this chart. If you look to the downside, oops, get that off the screen. If you look to the downside, there's around, there's around $130 million, maybe like $200 million, $300 million to liquidate down here at like 114K. All right, so maybe like 100 million plus or so. Now, as a market maker, would you go for that 100 million, or at 120,000? You can see with this very bright yellow that this is where a lot of liquidity is. Okay, right? 127 million, 165 to the 80s. Now you get into 141 million, 120. There's like $1 billion of liquidations up here at 120K, and there's like 100 or so million down at 114. If you were a market maker and you want to make money, what are you going to go for? Are you going to go for the 114? Or are you going to go with where all the liquidity is and all the liquidations are at 120K? Just use some common sense, lads. It's not rocket science here, right? We're not building rocket ships like Elon. We're looking at a chart that clearly tells us that the liquidations are at 120K. So this is just this is some real data that I wanted to show you today. And if you just look back at the Bitcoin price chart, let's contextualize this. We're talking about a $4,000 or $3,000 move, $2,500 move up here to 120K, right? Just up here, less than a 3% move would liquidate like $1 billion of shorts, okay? On the other hand, if it was to move and make another low, same distance, like 2.83% to 114, you can get like 100 million. So 100 million versus $1 billion. What do you think the market makers want? This is adding to my bull case here, guys. I'm building up my bullish thesis live, and I'm presenting it to you. If you guys enjoyed this, smash up the like button, guys. Smash it up. Show some support for your boy. Let's get loud. Let's get some rowdiness in the chat, guys. Let's pick up that live chat, all right? Where's the energy at? We gave you, how many setups did we give you yesterday? Everything in a bullish breaker block, all up 10% today. Let's get some likes right now. Smash some W's in the chat, and let's get hyped up. What's going on right now? Let's go. Let's get the energy up. But anyways, Bitcoin, the picture is very clear. It's a very clear picture. And yeah, we're looking for price to come above Monday's high now into 120K and grab that $1 billion plus of liquidations that are up there. All right, everything is pointing to that. We hit the daily fair value gap. We reclaimed the Monday low, and now we are just beneath, as we can see. Or we've also reclaimed the weekly open now. So the next stop is above Monday's high, $120,000 on Bitcoin, and we'll take it from there. All right, we go live daily, so we'll be able to update on the day that it happens. But we're looking for a move above Monday's high on Bitcoin. Moving on to Ethereum. Shout out to Shane with the W's in the chat. Let's go, Shane. Ali says go down, then go up. I don't know about that one, man. Anyways, this is ETH, Ethereum 12-hour time frame. So we put in a low on Wednesday at $3,500. The exact low on the Binance exchange was $3,502, and that's right here. As you can see, we didn't really break structure. All right, we held. This can definitely be called a daily demand zone. We're price wicked into at 3,500, and we've seen a very strong reaction, and we have seen price go ahead and reclaim the Monday low. And it's now trying to fight above the weekly open. So if I'm correct, and this was the low that was put in, well, we should see a rally to $4,000. As you can see, 4,000, big resistance level. Really the last resistance before all-time highs. So this is what we're looking for on ETH. We are looking for a push to $4,000 next on Ethereum. And we'll see how we go. We will see how we go. If we end up losing this market structure and my bullish thesis is all wrong, and we're not going to pump into mid-August, well, we have an open level down here on the daily time frame for ETH at around 3,300 to 3,250, and that is our main level for a pullback. But we're playing the market currently as if the low was put in over here just a few days ago, and we're looking for 4,000 next. But that's the situation on Ethereum. Now on Solana, we labeled this live on stream. Guys, who else is giving you this precise live analysis? Smash the like button and the subscribe button. But we labeled this fresh demand zone earlier in the week, and we said Solana is probably going to come and test fresh demand. Well, what happened? Tested fresh demand, swept Monday's low, and now it is up, what, 10%? No, 8%. But still, I mean, just textbook type of price action where we go ahead, we clear the previous swing high, pull back into fresh demand. There's still some work to do here on Solana. I'm not really trading it, but I am watching it as an indicator for risk on. And as of right now, we want to see this push, but all the signs are there that we hit fresh demand. We're seeing a good reaction. We'll see if we can reclaim these levels and get back above these highs at 206. But everything is pointing that we will right now, unless we go ahead and end up making fresh lows. So anyways, Solana worked out really well, right? If you took the long from fresh demand, you just move the stop to break even, and you look to ride the move up higher, right? That goes with all the trades. And when it comes to these trades, I mean, how many did we go over here, guys? How many did we go over? So Dogecoin, again, this 10-hour level, right? We have a 10-hour breaker block over here. So on Doge, as we can see, that 10-hour breaker block has led to a nice bounce back up. Not every coin, but most coins were in bullish breaker blocks yesterday. And all the bears were screaming, "It's over, guys." All the bears. Where are they now? They're still saying it's over. They're still saying we're going to go lower. Algorand, another one, came into the 13-day that we've had on the screen for a while. Okay, providing a bounce. I'm just going to go over the ones I've been tracking. So here's Magic, guys. How many weeks ago? This was 2 weeks ago when we saw this pump up here. We called this short on stream. It drops 20% after. And then we said, all right, there's a 2-day breaker block left behind. Price cleared the previous swing high. Just buy the pullback into the 2-day breaker block. This took 2 weeks to play out. It took 2 weeks. It took 16 days to happen. But if you waited 16 days and you just bought when price came into the 2-day level, well, you would have gotten a great entry that is already up. I mean, it went up 10%, currently up 7%, but everything's bounced around 10% or so, providing great scalps. And if you want to ride the trend higher, you just move the stop loss to entry. But all these bullish breaker blocks that I've been showing you all week long here, on the ones I've been tracking, I mean, they all really provided great setups. Let's see, Turbo as well. Okay, Turbo was called as well on the trading floor. But if we look at the chart here, we want this Turbo, not the other one. So if we look at the chart here on Turbo, we had this 4-day partial. Okay, we had this 4-day partial. I also put this inside of our Mastermind here. So when it came into that 4-day, we let everyone know. If we look at this price action now, from that 4-day partial, it's up 10%, okay? Anyways, like this is, you guys see, I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere, all right? We set all of these trades up right here on live stream. We set them all up. Now you see how they work, okay? This is back testing live. This just happened. Anyone watching could have taken these trades. Hope you guys did take some of them. But I mean, this, if you're looking for proof of concept or something like that, I mean, open your eyes, right? Like all of these levels, all provided bounces. There's more I'm sure I'm missing. Atom, another one. Okay, Atom had the 7-day. As we can see, that 7-day breaker block on Atom, right? What did price do? Came into it, bounce out now. Now, because this coin moves so little, I mean, what's it up? 4%? Okay, yes, 5.6 or so. So again, the ideal scenario is that the low was put in. The low was put in and we rally into the middle of August. Remember, we have FOMC this Wednesday. There's a lot of talk about Jerome Powell getting fired. Trump hates Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell this, Jerome Powell that. We'll see what happens with the Fed interest rate meeting this Wednesday. It does look like rates will actually go unchanged. But if something happens and they cut, maybe that it makes prices go crazy. Who knows? But based off purely the charts right now, if we are bullish, then this was the low. Okay? If we are bullish, this was the low. Now, if we go to the lower time frame, right? If we just, let's go to the 1 hour and we look at this. I mean, this is just compression. We have compression now right underneath resistance. So if we can reclaim resistance here at 475, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing pump right back up to $5, reclaim Monday's range, and potentially push the highs. Because don't forget the bigger picture right now, guys. What's the bigger picture? I'm looking at Atom, but this can be applied to many different, big liquidity, large cap altcoins. Many of them have a very similar chart, and they're all highly correlated. So the bigger picture is this weekly range. We have a big weekly range. Last week, price came and it tested the range high. This week, we pulled back off of the range high. The bears are emphatic. They're like, yeah, we're going back down to the lows. Whatever the heck they're saying. If we're in a period of risk here, we're going to see this resistance get snapped. And we're going to see this break out of this long weekly range. Again, this can be applied to many different coins right now. So that's what we're looking for, right? As bulls. That's what we are looking for. There's nothing for the bears to take here, right? What are the bears going to take? This move down to here? What is this? A 10% move back down to the bottom? 20% back down to the bottom. And then what? We just stay down there forever? Look, I think we're in a period of risk on, okay? In my opinion, the risk reward is much more favorable as a bull. We just got amazing entries in all these breaker blocks yesterday. Ideally, that was the low before we end up breaking into some fresh highs. That's my thesis, right? My thesis. I want to see what you guys are saying. And let's see if you guys have asked me about any good coins so I can look at them. I'm not going to look at any of these bullshit meme coins or anything like that right now. We're not going to interrupt the flow of the stream. But if there's a coin that would actually go with the flow of the stream, I don't mind taking a look at it at all. Shout out to Manny Adachi. We got the Albert, Ringo 37, Hecht Easy. What up, Hecht? We got Recon Runner. We got our boy Shane. What's up, Shane? Oi, my man. And Ringo 37. What's up, Ringo? Casablanca. Trucker Steve. What up, Trucker Steve? We got Reverend Flashback. How are you, my friend? B Marquis. What up, B Marquis? Recon Runner. Nah, not really too crazy bullish on either of those coins, man. Shout out to Debo Brown. Thank you, Lance B. Welcome. Shout out to Casablanca. Shout out to Scorch. So Tyra Crates has a question. He says, can you explain using different time frames? It's unusual, like the 9-day, the 7-day, order blocks and breaker blocks. And being newer, only thought daily 4-hour were used. So most new people think that. Most new people will only go through the standard time frames that TradingView gives you. But you can type in any number here, and you can go to any different time frame that you want. Now, it's proven, especially if you go and back test the strategy that I show here, that market makers love to hide liquidity on these odd time frames. So when I go through my analysis, I'll go to the 4-week. The 4-week is going to look different from the 1 month. The candles are going to be different. The 3-week is going to look different from the 21-day. Both the same amount of time. Candlesticks are going to look different because they're closing and opening at different times. It's different. The 7-day is going to be different from the 1 week. Many times I'll find a block on the 7-day, but it won't be there on the 1 week, and it will end up playing out perfectly. Right? Let's look at the Atom example. What was this? A 7-day, right? So first, we're on the weekly. On the weekly, we don't got jack there. We got some wicks. There's no liquidity in wicks, but is there? We go to the 7-day. Oh, wow. A fresh breaker block in the fair value gap. On the 7-day, that high of a time frame, damn, that's a good level. That's why we go through all these odd time frames, because there are hidden clues, there are hidden messages left behind by the whales, the big players. Okay, they are filling billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars of orders, buying and selling. They will leave footprints on the chart. That's why we go through the odd time frames, to find these footprints. Hope that helps, man. Look, I've been doing this for years. I've been doing supply and demand for years, okay? The breaker block, fair value gap, it's all price action. It's all very similar stuff. It ties hand in hand to supply and demand. And so if you're just starting out, it's going to take you a while to learn. But you can accelerate that progress by applying yourself hard. Just understand, though, my eyes have been trained to look at for this stuff for 7 years straight at this point or so. So just don't be hard on yourself if you're not finding the levels right away. Keep on looking for them. Keep on applying yourself, and you will be able to spot them. We got a super chat from FBS. What's up, FBS? He says, good to see you again. ACT is looking like it's a long period of accumulation post-April crash, and with high levels of volume, kind of looks good. What are your thoughts on it? ACT. So that was the big scam that Binance listed, right? Some insider stuff or whatever. Yeah. So this happened, okay? This happened where like it was a lot of controversy that I remember with this token. Binance listed it as like a micro cap coin. They obviously cabaled it. And then like the founder ran away, causing this sell-off in April or something. So with the history of the token, I'm a little iffy on it, right? There's so many coins. This one has a dark past, to say the least. The chart, it looks like many charts right now. Many of the AI coins that did well at the end of last year. You know, just going off of this and forgetting all the past. Nice rounded bottom. Also, nice accumulation lake below the lows, right? So it definitely is showing the fact that it just went through a nice accumulation lake, and it may start to pick back up. Volume slowly creeping back up. I'm going to check this. I'm looking at Sun as well for a long. We'll look at that right after. All right, so ACT funding rate is positive. So if it had a negative funding, maybe we would show some interest. But that is still positive right now. Look, my thoughts on the chart are, because the market's so correlated, and my thesis is we rally into the middle of April, and the low is put in like yesterday or the day before. This should be the low. Okay? And you want to see a breakout and into a higher high. I wouldn't recommend this coin. You can trade it. It looks like it could play out with a pump, right? Coming out of this accumulation, breakout, pull back, retest, fresh demand, rally. It's plausible, okay? But I don't love this coin or anything like that. But that's what I'm seeing. I mean, look, in terms of targets, like back up to here is a 2x. Then you have to assume it's going to retest where it fell off the shelf, if it actually does pump, which is at 18 cents. So, you know, maybe it gives you a few X's. Hard to say with such a coin and its history and past, but if I'm right and we rally into the middle of August, you know, this should see a pump from here. That's my analysis. FBS, I hope that helps, man. He says it's flatlined, it's dead. I mean, say the same thing about this AI16Z. Say the same thing about Griffin. Say the same thing about Swarms. You can say the same thing about many other AI coins that are flatlined and dead. So, again, I don't like the coin at all. But these are all correlated. So if they're all correlated and they pump, that one's going to pump to it, basically. It might pump less than the others or something. Maybe it pumps more. But to say it's flatlined and dead means that, like, all these coins are flatlined and dead and never going to come back. I think we're in a period of risk. They can pump. I'm not saying they're going to go back to their all-time highs. But as a trader, there's going to be gains to be had if we get a bullish move into the middle of August. When Lambo, maybe when Tau makes a new all-time high. Real quick though, Cubic, bullish continuation, looking for, somebody just asked for a price target. Go with the levels. Okay, yearly open would be one, and then 4,000 per billion would be one. Let's see, Pengu. Go look at Pengu. Here it is. So it looks like it's just kind of in this fresh range. You can see it pulled back into demand. So if this parabolic rally is going to continue, this should be the pullback into new highs. All right, same thing with something like Tau. Tau here, as you can see, pumped from these levels over here down at like $300, up here to 450. Now it's just been in this range. So we just pulled back to the bottom of the range to 400. Range lows. If this is going to lead to a push up, you know, the lows are going to hold and we'll see this continue. This compression underneath resistance, right? Adam's doing a compression underneath resistance on the lower time frames. AR, another decent AI coin. AR here, right? Hit 697. Now you can see it compressing under resistance. Bull flag on AR on the 1 hour. I mean, look, like yesterday was, or 2 days ago, PHB pulled back to the trend line, to the box we had labeled for the pullback when it was up here, 10% bounce. I mean, what more do we got to do, folks? What more do we got to do? We're here live every single day, labeling the levels, telling you the thesis, giving you the analysis, and now you can see. I mean, if you are a regular viewer of these live streams, you already see that we know what we're talking about. We can read the market decently well, but now you have another fresh batch of receipts and examples. All the breaker blocks provided, all providing nice bounces here. I mean, come on, guys. Hopefully you guys are locked in. The problem is that I think most people have with their execution is that they'll go watch me on stream. They'll see all the levels I have. They'll see my analysis, right? They'll see something like, I don't know, turbo in the 4-day. They'll see let's see. They'll see algo or something in the 13-day. But then they'll go and watch somebody else, and that other person saying, guys, we're bearish, we're going down, and their brain just starts going crazy. Like, oh my God, this guy says we're bullish. Oh my God, this guy says we're bearish. And them, or you're in the middle there. You're like, should I listen to this guy? Should I listen to that guy? And I always say, if you really want to win, if you really want to succeed in crypto and life in general, you have to be reliant on yourself. Okay, it's got to come from within. So listen to me, listen to the other guys. I don't care. Whatever decision you make, I hope it comes from yourself, and your belief, and because that's always how you're going to make the most money. If you live your life listening to other people, and you don't learn how to do it yourself, I'll say it straight up, you'll never be successful. So I'm trying to teach people how to fish here. That's why I spend the time to go through the analysis, to actually show you how I find all of these things and all that, right? I could just say, yeah, this, that, and not explain anything. But I want to teach you guys how to fish. All right, so that's why I do what I do. And hey, I mean, you guys see it in real time. So anyways, we're looking for 4% on USDT dominance. We're looking for Bitcoin dominance to continue to trend down lower into our 2-month demand zone at 59%. We're looking for Bitcoin to go ahead and reclaim the Monday high as well as 118K. If we reclaim 118K and get above Monday's high, we're going to see these alts have a big push, more likely than not. So listen, it's Saturday. We still have Sunday, and then we have the last week or the last few days of July. We'll see if we get a pullback to start the week. If we do get a pullback to start the week, I'm not expecting the lows to break. I think it will be a higher low. If we get that, maybe we get another chance at some decent entries before a nice push into the middle of August. And we'll report live daily to show you guys these moves in real time. But as of right now, that's the bias. That's what we're looking for. And I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Anyways, guys, appreciate you all being here. And I'll see you all very soon. Smash up the like button. The likes to viewers ratio is ridiculously low. Smash up that like button before we wrap up the stream. And subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. And I will see you in the next video. Have an amazing weekend. And make sure to get out in the sun so that you're not stuck inside all day staring at your screen, which is actually slowly killing you. Okay, so get in the sun, lads. That's what I'm going to go do right now. Go to the gym too. Have a great day.